Hi, everyone. I'm going to explain to you how to get to the class handouts and for some of you, the class files if you need to download them. The procedure has changed. It used to be that we would go to Pipeline, but now we have to use MY.SBCC access. So let me show you how we're going to do this. I'm going to share my screen. Open a browser, any browser, it doesn't matter which, and type in my.sbcc.edu. my.sbcc.edu. You're going to get to the Santa Barbara City College login screen, put in your username and password. In this case, my computer, I have a fingerprint password, but you could type it in, log in. If you happen to have a two-factor authentication, then go look at your phone for a text that you will have received, or if you chose your email, then you might have it in an email. So this will change each time. It's a number that it's like a security second password. So I found that number on my phone. You'll find your own. And then once you get here, this page will look a little bit different for you than for me. You won't have obviously employee resources or faculty resources. You'll have student resources. But the main difference will be that if your window of the browser is big enough, you're going to see this red column on the left. If you don't have it big enough, then when I'm going to give you an example. If I were to make this smaller, see how I don't have the red column, but I just have what's called the widgets. I have found that when people access their emails through the widgets, sometimes they get to their personal Gmail accounts. And so in order to resolve that, if people spread out their browser a little bit more and get this red column, that is a bit more foolproof. Head over to the area that says shortcuts. The first one is Gmail. When you click on that, that will take you to the Pipeline Gmail. So this is your school email, which it's good to know that that's where it is. But then further to the top right, you should see that it says SBCC next to maybe the initial of your name, unless you have a photo there. And so if you have the initial of your name and SBCC, you know that you're in the Pipeline account. Click on the waffle icon right next to it, this circle with many dots, and choose Drive. Click on Drive, and that will take you to your Pipeline Google Drive. Once you're here, again, if this is your first time, it might say welcome and things like that. But otherwise, head over to the left side, and this is your Pipeline Gluer Drive, and you will find the handouts in the shared drive, a drive that I have shared with you. When you click on shared drives, you should be seeing either a few squares and blocks, or you might see some lines, and you might see just one if this is the only class you're attending. If you attend 2 or 3 different classes that use Google Drive, you might see more of them. In this case, I'm going to give the example with Photoshop, for example, but it could be any other class you're attending of mine. You will see the name of the class. Double click, and now you are inside the class handouts. Now the class handouts can look, again, like this, just the file names, or once again, this little icon here could make it look like small previews. Either way, these are the handouts that I have for your class. There's many different ones depending on the class, but the one that I'm really trying to show you is if you have class files to download, they will be up at the top as a folder. And for example, Photoshop does have a folder that you need to download. Not all of them do. Once again, it can look like this, in which case these 3 little dots, you right click and download. Or if you have it set to show you as a list view, then it could look like a little folder icon. And then once again, you can either go all the way here to the little 3 dots to download, or you could have done both times a right click and download, and the files will download. Now, this is only for classes that do have files to download, like Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, things like that. But some of you will have no class files, but you will all have a file at the very top or next to the top that will say Zoom class recording links. and the name of the file and the name of the class. So when you get to the Zoom class recording links, again, it either looks like this, or if you have icon view, then it might look like this. When you double click on it to open it, that's when you will find the class links, whatever I have here for you. And in this case, the dates of the class. On the left side, you will have the class recording. And on the right side, you will have the class summary. It's an AI summary. On the left side, you would get, well, the class date, and then you click one time and then click one more time, and that will take you to YouTube. It's a private link that only you will get to see if you're in class. And here's my class recording. So this happens to be a 5-hour class, and the whole thing is here. So say that you want to see the from the middle on or something like that. You can go over here and advance to the middle of the class, or you need to review the ending, whatever it is that you need to do. That's the way you can zoom back and forth on your recording. I'm going to go ahead and go back in this tab to the Zoom class recording links, and let me show you really quickly what the summary looks like. When you click on this link, it's a feature that I turn on in Zoom, and it takes all my what it hears me say, and it summarizes it. Quick recap of what tools I talked about, next steps. Whenever I said do this, do that, homework, or whatever it might be, it puts it here. And then it gives little paragraphs that summarize that which I taught that day. Now, this is not a teaching tool. If you missed the class, you can't learn what I taught by reading the summary. But I see two features for why it meant to be helpful. One, it could help you look and go, oh, let me see. Oh, that's where she talked about color adjustment. So if you can tell, it's towards the end of the class because it's kind of at the bottom. So then you'll know that of those 5 hours, you might need to go down to the last hour to see that. If you didn't take notes of what time I taught that, that might help you. Or if you missed the class, you can skim through and see what it is that I covered. But the place where, if you did miss the class or parts of the class, you definitely have to watch the class recording. Okay, that is where you would learn what I've taught and what you missed and or what you need to review. Okay, I'm gonna stop my share. Hopefully that'll help you know how to get to the class files, and let me know if you have any questions. Bye.